My name is Anna. I am 48 years old and I want to share a story. It's not easy to tell, but it matters. This story is about love, heartache, and forgiveness. When I was younger, I met a man. His name was David. We met at a small coffee shop. I was reading a book when he came over and asked, "Do you enjoy that book?" I smiled and said, "Yes, it's my favorite." We started talking. We had the same taste in music. We both loved nature. We both dreamed of having a big family. A week later we met again. Then we began dating. We were truly happy. After 1 year we got married. I wore a white dress. He held my hand and said, "I will love you forever." I believed him. We moved into a small house. It wasn't big, but it was cozy and full of love. David worked as a teacher. I worked at a flower shop. Every morning he kissed me before going to work. Every evening we watched the sunset together from our porch. Later we had 2 daughters, Lily and Mia. David said, "They are beautiful, just like you." He loved reading them bedtime stories. He helped them with their schoolwork. He used to call them his little stars. I stayed busy with the house, cooking, cleaning, and caring for the girls. But I was happy, felt safe, felt loved. David didn't bring me flowers every day. He didn't write poems. But he would say, "Wear your jacket, it's cold outside." He would tell me, "Take a rest, I'll do the dishes." That was his way of showing love. When the girls grew older, I went back to working full-time. David also changed jobs. He started working at a large company in the city. He began coming home late. He was always tired. I asked, "Are you okay?" He replied, "I'm just busy. Don't worry." But something felt different. He didn't smile much anymore. He didn't talk to me like he used to. He started locking his phone. He stopped calling me during the day. I felt something was wrong. One evening he said he needed to go on a work trip. I said, "Okay, be safe." But my heart felt heavy. He was gone for 3 days. When he returned, he didn't hug me. He didn't ask about the girls. He just said, "I'm tired. I need to sleep." One afternoon my friend Sarah came to the flower shop. She looked uneasy. She said, "Anna, I saw David with another woman." I said, "No, that can't be true." She said, "They were holding hands." "I'm sorry." My hands started shaking. My heart turned cold. I closed the shop early. I went home and waited. That night I asked David, "Do you have someone else?" He looked down. He didn't say a word. I said, "Please tell me the truth." He said, "Yes." "I'm sorry." I asked, "Are you leaving me?" He said, "Yes. I love her." I didn't cry in front of him. He packed his bag. He left. The door closed. And my world fell apart. After David left, everything changed. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I felt completely empty. I sat in the kitchen for hours. The house felt too big and too quiet. Every corner held a memory. When the girls came home from school, I told them the truth. Mia cried. Lily asked, "Why did Dad do this?" I didn't have an answer. I said, "He is still your father. Please respect him." But he hurt me. The nights were the hardest. The bed felt cold. The silence felt loud. One day my friend Sarah came again. She said, "Anna, let's go out." I said, "No. I don't feel like it." She replied, "You need fresh air, please." We went to a children's hospital. Sarah was a volunteer there. She said, "Come meet someone." She introduced me to a little girl named Elena. Elena had no hair. She was very sick. But she smiled and said, "Do you want to see my drawing?" It was a picture of a sun and 2 people holding hands. I said, "It's beautiful." Elena said, "That's me and my mom. We go to the park in my dreams." I felt tears fill my eyes. I asked, "Do you go outside?" She said, "Not now, but maybe one day." Sarah said, "These mothers sleep here. They don't go home." I looked at them. They looked exhausted. But they smiled too. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about Elena. The next day I went back to the hospital. I brought flowers. I brought cookies. The children smiled. I started going every week. I read them stories. I painted with the kids. I found sponsors to help pay for medicine. Talked to. Music. I listened to the mothers. Slowly I began to smile again. I wasn't just someone who had been left. I became someone who gave hope. Helping the children helped heal me. My daughters noticed the change in me. Lily said, "Mom, you are strong." Mia gave me a hug. We started cooking together, walking and laughing again. Time passed. 10 years went by. My daughters grew up. They moved out, got jobs and started their own lives. I continued working at the flower shop. I still visited the hospital. I still helped the children. One day it was Mother's Day. I made tea and waited for my daughters to visit. Then someone knocked on the door. I opened it and saw David. He looked older. His hair had turned gray. His face seemed tired. He said, "Hi Anna, can we talk?" I didn't know what to say. He said, "I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Can I come in?" I stepped back and said, "This is your old house. You can come in." He sat down on the couch. He looked around and said, "It feels the same, but I feel different." I stayed quiet. He said, "She left me. The woman I left you for, she lied to me. Her child wasn't mine." I looked at him. He seemed small, weak. "Not the man I once knew." He said, "I have nowhere else to go. I don't want your money. I want to say sorry. Please forgive me." I didn't know what to say. I looked at David and felt so many things. Felt pain. Felt anger. Felt confusion. But I also felt something else. Maybe sadness or maybe something softer. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just said, "You can stay in the guest room. It's clean." He nodded and said, "Thank you." That night I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. My mind was full of memories. Our first day in this house. Our wedding. Our daughters when they were little. And the day he walked away. I also remembered the day I met Elena at the hospital. That day changed my life. Helped me become strong again. But now David was back. And everything felt heavy. The next morning I made coffee. David came into the kitchen. He looked unsure and said, "Good morning." I just nodded. I placed a cup of coffee in front of him. He gave a small smile and said, Thank you." We sat in silence. After breakfast he went outside. He looked at the garden. The fence was broken. I saw him pick up some tools and start fixing it. I watched from the window. He looked slower than before. Older. But he worked with care. I didn't say anything. I just watched. In the evening I made dinner. It was simple: rice, vegetables and chicken. I placed the plates on the table. David sat down and said, "The food smells good, Anna." I didn't reply. We ate quietly. Then he said, "I miss your cooking. No one cooks like you." I looked at him and said, "You made your choice, David." He looked down and said, "I know. I'm sorry." After dinner, he stood up to help me wash the dishes. He said, "No, I can do it." He nodded and went to the guest room. That night my daughters came to visit. They were surprised to see David. Mia said, "Dad, what are you doing here?" David looked down and said, "I made a mistake. I hurt your mother. Now I want to make things right." Lily looked at me and asked, "Mom, are you okay with this?" I said, "I don't know yet." Lily and Mia took me into another room. Mia said, "Mom, you don't have to let him stay. We can take care of you." I smiled and said, "I just need time to think." That night I sat alone on the porch. I looked at the stars. I asked myself many questions. Can people really change? Can I? Can I trust David again? Will he leave me once more? He hurt me deeply. But he was also the father of my daughters. He worked hard for our family. He helped raise the girls with me. I didn't have the answers. The next morning, I saw David fixing the garden gate. He also cleaned the windows and repaired a broken chair. He didn't say much. He just helped around the house. Days passed like this. He didn't try to talk much. He gave me space. One afternoon, my granddaughter Emma came to visit. She ran into the house and saw David. She shouted, "Grandpa!" She ran to him and hugged him. David smiled. It was the first time I had seen him truly smile in years. Emma looked at me and said, "Grandma, Grandpa said he missed me. Can we all go to the park together?" I didn't really want to go. But Emma held my hand and said, "Please, Grandma. It will be fun." I looked into her big, hopeful eyes and said, "Okay. Let's go." At the park, Emma played on the swings. David and I sat together on a bench. He said, "Thank you for letting me come back, Anna." I replied, "I haven't decided yet, David." He nodded. "I understand," he said. "Take your time. I'll wait." More days passed. David stayed in the guest room. He fixed things around the house. He helped in the garden, cleaned the garage. He never asked for anything. One morning, my friend Sarah came to visit. She saw David and raised her eyebrows. After he left the room, she asked, "Are you okay with him being here?" He said, "I don't know. I feel angry. But I also feel sorry for him." Sarah said, "You don't have to forgive him right away. But maybe this is a chance for healing for both of you." That night I thought about her words. Maybe she was right. Maybe healing takes two people. The next morning I made breakfast. I called David to the table. He looked surprised. He sat down. He seemed nervous. He said, "I don't know if I can forgive you, but I want to try." David's eyes filled with tears. He said, "Thank you, Anna. I'll do everything I can to make it right." After that, we began spending more time together. We talked about the past. David apologized again and again. He said he didn't realize what he had. He said he had been selfish. One evening we sat in the garden. He said, "I don't expect you to forget, but I hope one day you can forgive." He said, David, "I will forgive you, but it will take time. You have to show me you've truly changed." Over time, things began to get better. We started laughing again. We remembered the good days. We talked about our daughters and Emma. We even watched the sunset together, just like we used to. One morning, David brought me tea in bed. I looked at him and said, "Be careful, don't spill it this time." We both laughed. It was a small moment, but it meant a lot. I still don't know what the future holds. But I do know this. Forgiveness isn't easy. Takes time. Takes love. Takes patience. Maybe one day our family will feel whole again. Maybe it won't be the same as before, but something new. Something strong. Something honest. I hope you enjoyed this story. Anna's journey is filled with emotion, choices, and strength. What do you think? Should she fully forgive David and begin again? Or should she move forward and live her life alone? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share your opinion in the comments below. Your feedback helps us bring more heartfelt stories to you. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.